The Jathric Empire stretched across thousands of star systems. Their ships flew through space like metal giants. Their weapons could destroy entire planets. For 12,000 years, they ruled over 40% of the galaxy. No one dared to challenge them. No one could match their power. Emperor Vorash sat on his throne made of crystal. The throne room was bigger than a city. Thousands of servants bowed before him. His golden robes touched the floor. His crown held gems from 100 conquered worlds. He ruled with absolute power. One morning, a scout ship returned from the outer regions. The captain walked into the throne room. His boots clicked on the marble floor. He carried a data pad in his shaking hands. "Your Majesty," the captain said. He bowed low. "We found something interesting. A primitive world. They call it Earth." Emperor Vorash leaned forward. "Tell me about this Earth." The captain showed holographic images. A blue and green planet appeared in the air. The humans live there. They just learned how to travel faster than light. Their technology is very basic. Their ships use simple fusion reactors. Their weapons are just kinetic projectiles. They are like children playing with toys. The War Council gathered around the hologram. Generals and admirals studied the images. They looked at human cities. They saw human ships. They counted human weapons. Then they started to laugh. "These humans are so weak." One general said, "Our smallest fighter could destroy their biggest warship. Their planet is rich." Another admiral added, "Metals, rare elements, water, everything we need." Emperor Vorash smiled. "And the humans themselves? What about them?" "Perfect slaves, Your Majesty," the captain replied. "They are young, easy to control. They will serve the Empire well." The Emperor stood up. His voice filled the massive room. "Then we shall take this Earth. We shall add it to our empire. These humans will bow before us like all others." The War Council cheered. They had conquered thousands of worlds. Earth would be easy. It would be quick. It would be glorious. Fleet Admiral Cthron stepped forward. He was the Empire's greatest military commander. He had never lost a battle. "Your Majesty, I volunteered to lead this invasion. Give me 100 ships. That is more than enough." Emperor Voraz shook his head. "No, this is a special occasion. Take 500 ships. I want the humans to see our power. I want them to understand they cannot resist. Show them the might of the Jathric Empire." Cthron bowed. 500 ships. It was massive overkill. He could conquer Earth with 50 ships, maybe with 20. But he would follow his emperor's orders. He would bring 500 ships. He would make this invasion memorable. Preparations began immediately. The Empire's greatest warships gathered at the staging area. Battle cruisers longer than mountains. Destroyers bristling with plasma cannons. Fighter craft that move faster than light. Every ship carried enough firepower to level a continent. Soldiers boarded the ships. Millions of them. Warriors from a 100 conquered species. All serving the Empire. All ready to fight. All expecting an easy victory. In the capital city, citizens celebrated. Holographic displays showed images of Earth. Announcers talked about the coming victory. Merchants prepared to sell goods from the new conquest. Everyone was excited. "The humans don't stand a chance," people said to each other. "The fleet will return in a few weeks. The war will be over before it starts." Fleet Admiral Catan stood on the bridge of his flagship. The ship was called Eternal Dominance, or it was the biggest warship in the fleet. Its weapons could destroy a moon. Its shields could withstand a star going supernova. He looked at the star map. Earth was far away in an isolated arm of the galaxy. The humans had been lucky. They had developed alone. No one had bothered them. No one had conquered them until now. "Set course for Earth," Cthron commanded. "Maximum speed. I want to arrive with overwhelming force." The fleet jumped into hyperspace. 500 ships moving as one. They left a trail of energy that lit up the space around them. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. It was the power of the Empire on full display. On the bridge, officers made predictions. How long would the humans resist? 1 day, 1 hour? Some thought the humans would surrender immediately. Why fight when defeat was certain? Cthron smiled to himself. He had fought in 100 wars. He had seen 1,000 battles. This would be the easiest campaign of his career. The humans were primitive. Their technology was outdated. Their military was weak. What the admiral did not know was that everything they believed about Earth was wrong. The primitive ships were fake. The weak weapons were a disguise. The young civilization was a lie. Earth was not what it seemed. And the Jathric Empire was about to learn a terrible lesson. The fleet traveled through hyperspace. Days passed. The journey continued. Every hour brought them closer to Earth. Every moment brought them closer to their doom. But they did not know. They could not know. They believed they were invincible. They believed they were the strongest force in the galaxy. They were about to discover how wrong they were. 150 years before the Jathric fleet departed, something amazing happened on Mars. A team of human explorers found something buried deep under the red sand. At first, they thought it was just an unusual rock formation. But then their senses went crazy. Dr. Sarah Chen was the lead archaeologist. She brushed away the dust with her gloved hands. Beneath the sand was metal, but it was not like any metal humans had ever seen. It was smooth. It was perfect. It did not rust or corrode. "This is artificial," she whispered into her radio. This was made by someone. Something intelligent. They dug for weeks. What they found changed everything. It was a facility, an enormous underground complex. The structure went down for miles. The technology inside was beyond anything humans could imagine. The discovery was kept secret. Governments worked together quietly. Scientists from every nation studied the facility. They found computers that still worked after millions of years. They found weapons that could tear through reality itself. They found star maps showing thousands of worlds. And they found records. Ancient records. The truth about humanity. The records told an incredible story. Long ago, an ancient race existed. They called themselves the Architects. They were the first intelligent species in the galaxy. They were the ones who created faster than light travel. They were the ones who mapped the stars. The Architects had a mission. They wanted to seed life across the galaxy. They visited thousands of planets. They left their genetic code behind. They created new species that would grow and evolve. Humanity was one of those species, but Earth was special. Earth was not just another colony world. Earth was a reset point. The Architects had deliberately kept Earth isolated. They wanted one world where their descendants could develop naturally without interference, without technology, starting fresh. The facility on Mars was a vault, a storage place. Inside were all the secrets of the Architects. Their technology, their knowledge, their power, everything was preserved. Everything was waiting. The records explained that when humanity reached a certain level of development, the vault would activate. When humans could reach Mars on their own, they were ready. Ready to learn the truth. Ready to inherit their legacy. Dr. Chen read the final message from the Architects. It was written in a language that somehow every human could understand. The words appeared directly in her mind. "To our children," the message said, "you are not alone in the galaxy. You never were. You carry within you the legacy of the first. The galaxy is full of younger species. They will grow. They will evolve. Some will be peaceful. Some will be aggressive. Watch them. Learn from them. But remember who you are. Remember what you carry inside you. You are the heirs of the Architects. You are the guardians of the galaxy." World leaders gathered in secret meetings. They debated what to do. Some wanted to announce the discovery to everyone. Others wanted to keep it hidden. In the end, they chose secrecy. The decision was made. Humanity would reverse engineer the Architect technology, but they would do it slowly, carefully, and most importantly, secretly. On the surface, humanity would appear normal. Their ships would look primitive. Their weapons would seem basic. They would act like a young species just learning about the galaxy. But underneath they would be something else entirely. Secret bases were built across the solar system, deep underground on Earth, hidden in the asteroid belt, buried under the ice of Europa. Each base studied different aspects of Architect technology. The most important discovery was the defense network. The Architects had not left Earth unprotected. Hidden throughout the solar system were weapons, thousands of them. They looked like asteroids. They looked like comets, but they were dormant military installations. Each installation was incredibly powerful. Their weapons used zero-point energy. They could erase matter from existence. They could disrupt causality itself. One installation could destroy an entire fleet, and there were thousands of them. Humanity learned how to activate the network. They learned how to control it, but they kept it sleeping, waiting, watching. The Sol Defense Command was created. It operated in complete secrecy. Its headquarters was on the far side of the moon. Its personnel were the best of the best. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, all sworn to protect Earth's secret. Admiral James Morrison commanded the Sol Defense Command. He was a careful man, a patient man. He knew that one day someone would threaten Earth. The galaxy was a dangerous place. The architects had known this. That was why they built the defenses. For 150 years, humanity watched the galaxy. They sent out scout ships disguised as primitive explorers. They gathered intelligence. They learned about other species. They studied the great empires. They learned about the Jathric Empire. They watched as the empire conquered world after world. They saw the cruelty, the slavery, the destruction, and they prepared. Then one day, the sensors detected something. A fleet, a massive fleet. 500 Jathric warships, all heading toward Earth, all preparing to invade. Admiral Morrison stood in the command center. He watched the enemy fleet approach. His officers waited for orders. The moment had finally come, the moment they had prepared for all these years. Activate defense protocol. Omega, Morrison said calmly, wake up the network. Power up the fleet. It's time to show them what we really are. Throughout the solar system, ancient systems came to life. Asteroids that had floated dormant for millennia began to glow. Hidden bases opened their doors. Warships that looked like primitive human vessels dropped their disguises. Earth had been sleeping. Now Earth was waking up. And the Jathric Empire was about to learn what it meant to threaten. The heirs of the architects. The Jathric fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 500 warships appeared in the darkness of space. Their engines glowed with power. Their shields shimmered with energy. Fleet Admiral Catherine stood on his bridge, confident and proud. Scan the system, he ordered. Find their military installations. Identify their fleet positions. The sensors swept across the solar system. They found Earth. They found the Moon. They found Mars and Jupiter and Saturn. Everything looked exactly as the scouts had reported. A primitive system, a young civilization. Admiral, we detect only a few dozen human ships, an officer reported. They are scattered throughout the system. Their technology appears basic. Fusion reactors, kinetic weapons, nothing that can threaten us. Kron smiled. This was going to be even easier than he thought. He activated the communication system. Time to give these humans a chance to surrender. Attention, humans of Earth. His voice boomed across all frequencies. This is Fleet Admiral Catherine of the Jathric Empire. Your system now belongs to us. You will surrender immediately. You will submit to imperial rule. Resistance is futile. You cannot win. Surrender now and we will be merciful. The message echoed through space. Kthron waited for a response. He expected fear. He expected pleading. He expected desperate negotiations. What he got was silence. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then a single message came back. It was short, simple, cold. Leave. This is your only warning. The bridge crew laughed. A warning from these primitives. It was absurd. It was insulting. It was hilarious. They dare to threaten us. One officer said between laughs. With what? Their toy ships? Kian was not amused. He did not like being mocked. These humans needed to learn respect. They needed to learn fear. All ships advance, he commanded. Full speed toward Earth. Battle formations. Charge weapons. If they want to resist, we will show them the price of defiance. The fleet moved forward. 500 warships accelerating toward the inner system. They passed the orbit of Neptune. Nothing happened. They continued forward. Still nothing. Perhaps they realized their mistake, an officer suggested. Perhaps they are preparing to surrender. Then everything changed. Across the outer solar system, objects that looked like asteroids suddenly came alive. They had been floating in space for millions of years, looking like ordinary rocks. Now they revealed their true nature. Panels opened. Weapons emerged. Power cores that had been dormant for ages ignited. The defense network of the architects, activated for the first time in millions of years. Admiral energy signatures appearing throughout the system. An officer shouted. His voice was panic now. Massive power readings. These are not asteroids. They are weapons platforms. Kron stared at the tactical display. Hundreds of red dots appeared. Thousands. They surrounded his fleet. They were everywhere. How did we miss this? He whispered. How did our scouts not detect this? He had no time for answers. The weapons platforms opened fire. Beams of pure energy cut through space. But these were not normal energy weapons. They were zero-point energy beams. They pulled energy directly from the fabric of reality itself. Nothing could stop them. Nothing could absorb them. The Jathric shields were the best in the galaxy. They could withstand the blast of a supernova. They had protected the Empire's ships for thousands of years. They collapsed like paper. The first wave of fire destroyed 50 ships instantly. They simply ceased to exist. No explosions, no debris. One moment they were there. The next moment they were gone, erased from reality. Then the missiles came. These were not normal missiles. They disrupted causality. They hit ships before they were launched. They existed in multiple timelines at once. There was no dodging them. No defense against them. Another 100 ships died. Their crews did not even have time to scream. Matter erasure fields swept through the fleet. They touched a ship and that ship simply stopped being. Not destroyed. Not blown apart. Simply unmade. Returned to the void from which all matter came. 50 more ships gone. All of this happened in 4.7 seconds. Thron grabbed his command chair to steady himself. The bridge shook as nearby explosions rocked space. Alarm screamed. Officers shouted. The tactical display was a nightmare of red warnings. 200 ships destroyed. Someone yelled. Shields ineffective. Weapons cannot lock on. They are too fast. Return fire. Thron ordered. All ships. Fire everything. The remaining 300 ships opened fire. Plasma cannons, particle beams, gravity weapons, everything they had. The combined firepower of 300 warships lit up space like a second sun. The human defense platforms did not even slow down. The Jathric weapons splashed harmlessly against shields that should not exist. Technology that should not be possible. And the platforms kept firing, kept killing. One ship after another vanished from existence. We have to retreat. His second-in-command shouted, Admir, we cannot win this. We have to run. For the first time in his long military career, Fleet Admiral Kethrin felt true fear. He looked at the tactical display. 250 ships remaining. Number 240. 230. Numbers kept dropping. All ships, he commanded. Emergency retreat. Jump to hyperspace now. The fleet tried to jump. Engines powered up. Hyperspace windows began to open, but nothing happened. The windows collapsed. The jumps failed. We cannot jump. The navigation officer reported. His voice broke with terror. Something is preventing it. They have trapped us here. Thron realized the horrible truth. This was not a battle. This was an execution. The humans had lured them in. The humans had trapped them. And now the humans were destroying them. He had been so wrong, so terribly wrong. Earth was not primitive. Earth was not weak. Earth was something else, something ancient, something powerful beyond imagination. And the killing continued. Fleet Admiral Cat Heron watched his fleet die. The tactical display showed ships vanishing one by one. Each red dot represented hundreds of lives. Soldiers he had trained, officers he had promoted, friends he had fought beside. All gone. Keep trying the hyperspace engines, he ordered desperately. There must be a way out. Negative, Admiral, the chief engineer reported. They have created a gravity well around the entire solar system. It is like being inside a black hole. Hyperspace is impossible. We are trapped. Then new contacts appeared on the sensors. Ships, human ships. But these were not the primitive vessels the scouts had seen. These were something else entirely. They appeared from nowhere. One moment space was empty. The next moment ships materialized. Not through hyperspace, through something else. Something the Dritch had no name for. The human warships were beautiful and terrible. Their hulls were made of materials that seemed to shift and flow. Their shapes were impossible. Existing in dimensions the Jathric could not fully perceive. They moved through space like thoughts, instantaneous and precise. How many? Thron asked quietly. Unknown, sir, the sensor officer replied. His voice shook. Our sensors cannot get accurate readings. The ships exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. They are everywhere and nowhere. The human fleet did not rush to attack. They moved with perfect coordination, like a dance, like art. They surrounded the remaining Jake ships completely.